He had only 2 grenades, yet threw one into the water, hoping to blast some fish since he hadn't eaten in 2 days. But after the grenade hit the water, nothing happened. Out of options, he used his last grenade. This time, there was a satisfying explosion, with waves splashing up, but instead of fish, a bunch of bodies floated to the surface. The boy wasn't scared, though this was a post-apocalyptic world, ruined by war. With the soil and air poisoned, people did whatever it took to survive, and he knew it too well. Returning to shore, he decided to play dead, hoping to attract a stray dog. Clutching a knife under his body, he waited. When a dog finally lunged at him, teeth sinking into his arm, he reacted quickly. With one swift motion, he raised his knife, bringing it down and ending the fight. Thinking his father would be proud to have food, the boy was instead scolded. His father warned him about the toxins in the organs of stray animals and insisted that the guts had to be removed immediately to avoid contaminating the meat. Now, the kill was useless. Frustrated, the father made him skin the animal to trade for food with the neighbor. But when they went, the neighbor armed with a gun accused them of killing his dog, snatching the pelt without giving any food in return. Hiding nearby, the boy watched the humiliation, understanding this was how survival worked now. The strong preyed on the weak. The next day, their neighbor came back, gun in hand, claiming the boy had stolen something. The neighbor forced the father to his knees, jamming the gun into his mouth. The boy quickly handed over a clean silk cloth as a bribe, and only then did the neighbor finally leave. Early the following morning, a stroke of luck finally arrived. The boy caught a large fish. Rushing back to tell his father, he found him slumped over, lifeless. He realized that years of eating wild plants poisoned by polluted soil had finally caught up with him. Born into this ruined world, the boy wasn't even sure if his father was dead or asleep. For 12 hours, he kept watch, but his father didn't stir. It was then he accepted the truth. Beneath his father lay a notebook, something he held dear, often scribbling away in it without ever letting the boy see. Now, finally, the boy could look, but to his frustration, he didn't recognize a single word. Angry, he tossed the notebook aside and placed his father's body on a small boat, pushing it out to the center of the river before letting it sink. His father gone, the boy made his first decision. He would get revenge on the neighbor. Walking into his place uninvited, he found the man as arrogant and rude as ever, oblivious to the fact that the boy had a club behind his back. The boy tied him up, hoisted him, and finally released all the anger he'd held inside. Afterward, he didn't hesitate, drowning the man in the river, just as his father had gone. He gathered what supplies he could from the house, then left the place where he'd spent his entire 18 years. Outside, things were as grim as his father had always warned. He drifted downriver, eventually mooring and scouting for food. The roads were littered with abandoned cars, their decay telling of years gone by. The boy, curious, climbed into one and settled into its comfortable seat, eventually falling asleep. When he woke up, his boat was gone, the rope cleanly cut. His first journey had turned unlucky, but he continued on foot. Not far down the road, he spotted a house with 2 men tending a vegetable garden. The men saw him too, and one raised his gun, trying to act calm, though he was secretly delighted by the boy's apparent innocence.